Data is very important in programming. It's the foundation of every application, and understanding how to work with data is crucial for any developer. In JavaScript, working with different types of data is essential to build dynamic and efficient code. Hey there coding enthusiast, welcome back to the JavaScript from Zero to Hero course. Today we are going to dive into a fundamental concept in JavaScript, data types. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Before we understand data types, let's first understand what is data. Data is essentially information. It could be anything like a phone number, a name, an address, etc. Now let's see what are data types. Alright, data types tell JavaScript what kind of data you are going to work with. It's like telling JavaScript, hey, this is a number or this is a piece of text. Knowing the right data type helps JavaScript handle your data correctly. Pretty cool, right? Data types can vary from language to language. JavaScript is a versatile language, and understanding its data types is key to unlocking its full potential. Let's break it down into two categories: primitive and non-primitive data types. First up, we have primitive data types. These are the basic building block of data in JavaScript and are stored directly in the memory. So there are 7 primitive data types in JavaScript. Let's see them one by one. So the first in the list is number. Number is used for all types of numbers like integers, floats, and etc. So let's see it practically in Visual Studio Code. So here I have opened Visual Studio Code, and now let's create a new variable. So I'm going to create a variable named age equals to 22. And now let's log it. Okay, now I am clicking on this play icon. So let's run the code. So in the terminal you can see 22. Now let's check the type of this variable. So in JavaScript we have an inbuilt function called typeOf. Using this function we can check the type. Now let's run the code again. So here you can see in the terminal first the value of the variable and then the type of the variable. So using typeOf function we can check the type. So here you can see the type of age is number. Now next we have string. String represents textual data. In JavaScript, strings can be enclosed in single quotes, double quotes, or backticks. Now let's see an example of string in Visual Studio Code. So here I am going to create a new variable called name, and then in this variable I am going to pass a name. Now let's console log it. Console.log name and then the type of name. Let's run the code. So here you can see we have John Doe with a type string. We can also use single quote instead of double quotes. So let's rename it because we have already declared a name 2, and here I am going to use single quote. Or we can also use backticks. So name 3, let's use backticks. Okay, so these are the 3 methods to create a string in JavaScript. Next in the list is Boolean. Boolean represents true or false values, often used for conditions like checking if a user has permissions. So let's see an example. So here I am going to declare a new variable named let has permission, and then I can set the value to true or false. Okay, so Boolean is used to check the conditions. Now let's log has permission variable. So I'm console.logging has permission, and then let's see the type of has permission. So type of has permission And now let's run this code. So in the terminal, you can see the value is true and the type of this variable is Boolean. The next data type is undefined. Undefined means a variable has been declared but it has not given a value yet. It's like an empty box waiting to be filled. So let's declare a new variable, let user. And now let's console log this variable. So console.log and then user. After that, type of user. Run the code. And here you can see the value of the variable is undefined and the type of the variable is undefined. Next in the list is null. Null is similar to undefined, but it's used when you want to intentionally say this box is empty and it has no value. So let's see an example. Let's declare one more variable named selected color and then setting the value to null. Now let's console log it. So console.log selected variable and then the type of selected color. Let's run the code. And in the terminal you can see the value of selected color is null but the type is object. Here you might be expected to return null but instead it returns object. So this is a legacy issue that was never fixed by JavaScript to avoid breaking down existing code. So you can say it's an exception for a null type. Now let's move to symbol. Symbol is a bit more advanced and can be used to create unique object properties. I will create a separate video on this topic. I don't want to confuse you right now. So let's move to the next data type, that is BigInt. BigInt, introduced in ECMAScript 6, it handles numbers larger than what the number data type can handle. Think of it as a super powerful number. So let's see an example. So now here I am going to create a new variable named large number and then here let's add a large number and at the end we need to type n. So then the JavaScript can understand this is a BigInt. Now let's console.log large number and then the type of large number. Let's run the code again. And here you can see the value of large number. It's a BigInt. Now you might wonder why use BigInt when we already have number. Let's break it down. Number can be enough for most applications, but when you are working with really large numbers like cryptography, precious timestamps, or dealing with large financial calculations, you might hit the limit of what number can handle accurately. So that's why we need to use BigInt instead of number. So now we have covered all the primitive data types. Now it's time to see non-primitive data types. So let's see object. Object includes arrays, functions, and more complex structures. Objects are key value pairs and can store multiple values. So let's see an example of object. So here I am going to create a new object called user and then inside it let's create a key name with the value John. Then after the comma let's add one more key age and setting the value to 30. Then let's add one more key is admin and it's going to be a boolean value false. Okay, so I think we have already declared user, so let's rename it to person. Now let's console.log it. So console.log person and then the type of person. So let's run the code again. So here you can see the object and the type is object. We will dive deeper into this, how to access the keys of the object in our upcoming videos. Now let's imagine you want to store the information about a book. You can use different data types to do this. So here I am going to create a new variable named book title, and the book title is the grade boy. Then let's create one more variable named number of pages. So let's suppose this book contains 180 pages. Then let's add a boolean value is available. Let's set it true. This book is available. Then let's add published year, and published year is undefined. Then let's add one more variable, author. So the author is null. Okay, now we can also do it using object like this. So here I am going to create a single variable named book. Then inside this object, let's add a key title, and the value is the name of the book. Then after the comma, let's add one more key, number of pages, and the value is 180. Then is available, false. Then published year is undefined, and author is null. So we have stored the same values in an object using key value pairs. So there you have it, a quick and simple guide to data types in JavaScript. Knowing how to use the right data type will make your code smarter and more efficient. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want the source code, then please do check out in the description. I'll attach a link over there. This video is a part of a JavaScript from Zero to Hero course, so please do check out our playlist. Like this video, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding, everyone.